The goal has to be like, I want that more than anything. The thing about competitors, they will eat dirt if you tell them it'll get them closer to their goal. There's no formulas, no blueprint. And the gym's that's all glamour muscles. Drag myself across that finish line, but after that, I needed serious time off. This is a professional setup.
Yeah, I know just enough, but there's like some little nuances, like how to exactly set the camera, because there's all those little settings in the camera, but whatever, we'll get through it.
Yeah, that's where you need like a full-on staff, like tech guy, but also I bet you notice things that nobody else notices.
Oh yeah, I do, totally.
Like if you're looking at your own stuff, you're just looking for what's wrong with it, right?
Yeah. Isn't that with anything?
It's with everything. Like, especially if you're passionate, like the more passionate you are about something and the more you like want it to go well, the more anal you are about like every little detail to the point where like, if you have that type of personality, you're like, takes up your headspace. You're like, I have to get this right. Like this has to be corrected because it's all I see.
I know. I actually had, funny enough, I had one guy after Cliff's podcast was released. One guy messaged me on Instagram. Don't even know who he is. No idea who he is. And he's like, hey, I really had a hard time listening to your podcast because you were sniffling all the time.
Now you're going to be so conscious of every breath you take.
I am. I know.
Really?
Yeah.
So like, did you go back and listen?
I didn't, because I would just gotten pissed off. But I had just recently gotten a cold.
Yeah.
And I already have sinus shit going on all the time. So it was just funny that somebody called me out.
That is so funny. You know what? That's something you're going to remember for forever. And then but it could lead to a better result, you know? Like that's like technical feedback. But also I know sometimes because from what I've known and from what I hear, like audio is more important than visual.
Yep.
Like, because is this like YouTube or podcast?
It's all platforms.
all platforms. So like
Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon, it hits them all.
So I listen to podcasts, and like if there's an audio thing, I'm probably gonna pay attention to that more than the visual. Because a lot of times I just have it going on like when I'm in the shower or like
same.
You know what I mean? Like in the car,
right?
Or even going to sleep. Like I just put stuff on.
Yeah.
So if it's like audio, I mean, I guess that's the area to get like real crazy with it. But man, like that's a brutal comment.
That's all right though. But like you said, it does improve you. But just so the audience knows, I had another cold a couple of weeks ago. I had like back-to-back colds.
It's going around, man. I was sick. Like I got tons and tons of clients checking in sick from all over the world. So I mean, it is cold flu season.
It is.
Are you like working at a gym? I gotta imagine you're not really a germaphobe.
No, I wouldn't say I'm a germaphobe, but I do wash my hands all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
Because if I'm out there like touching the equipment, moving things, whatever, because you figure you've got 1,000 bodies that have touched that piece of equipment.
Yeah.
I'm washing my hands, right? That's just nasty.
I used to be nuts with it.
Really?
Nuts with it. And then eventually, as I got when I was younger, I used to be real like if we were going to a party and I knew someone there was going to be sick, I'm not going to that party. I was that bad. And then as I got older, I was like, I'm tired of even caring about this. Yeah, I got to give up some control here. You know what I mean? And then I got way better with it. But I used to be like pretty bad because also it would be like, if I get sick, that's going to affect my training session, and I can't have that. So I'd be like, there were times where I'd be like, avoid things because like I knew a family member was sick, and I'm like, I just make up an excuse. Like I can't go to the party. But I've fortunately gotten
grown out of it a little bit.
It's always, you just manage things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, thanks for coming on. This is going to be fun.
Oh yeah. It's my pleasure, man. I appreciate you asking me to come on.
Of course.
That was a yes right away.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of cool shit. I mean, you and Cliff and Katie, and you've been in the fitness business for a long time now.
2015.
Yeah. So you're at your 10 years. I feel like it's been longer though.
It's wild. Time just goes by. Like time just goes. Sometimes I'm like, how is this much time going by that quickly?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while now.
Yeah. But what I like is like the content that you put out, you're your own guinea pig, kind of like Cliff too. But you're constantly testing workouts, you're testing nutrition things on yourself, you're constantly recomping, seeing how your body looks different. And even like the amount of size and definition that you've put on just in the last 5 years is crazy.
Oh man. So first off, kind of like we said before we were getting on here, I need to get into me mode because I am so used to talking about other people and putting the focus on other people and asking other people questions and hosting things. I'm not usually putting a spotlight on myself. So let me just, I mean, that's awesome to hear. Because sometimes when you look at yourself, you're like, this is it? Like, this is it? But then you look back at like old photos and stuff like that and you're like, oh, okay, wow. So I appreciate the compliment, man.
Yeah,
Thank
man,
you.
of course.
Yeah.
So how did you even, well, first, like, why don't you make a quick introduction, like what you're doing, what you do, all that stuff.
The main thing I do is coaching. That's what I want to be known for. That is where I spend all my time coaching people. I coach bodybuilders, mostly bodybuilders at this point, but lifestyle people, gen pop, if they, whatever their fitness goal is, I help them get to that goal with the majority of my clientele being different competitors. And that's my full-time thing. That's my main thing. That's all I care about. Everything else is secondary to that. I'm personally a bodybuilder, natural bodybuilding, been competing since like 2014. I compete every 3 years, like clockwork. So I'm always like off season prep, off season prep, off season prep, never fails, never stops.
And you take a very long off season.
3 years. The longest I've taken is 5 years. I competed 2014 bodybuilding, and then I won my pro card, and then I competed the next year, which is an amateur mistake. So like I advise against that to most everyone because it's very taxing physically and also psychologically. And so that was a prep that I learned a lot. And it was one of those where like I had to drag myself across that finish line, came away with a physique pro card and a physique pro win. But after that, I needed serious time off because if I would have just kept going, I would have you need that time in between seasons to get better. So I took 5 years off and then competed in 2020 for my pro debut in bodybuilding. And then I won that pro show. And then I competed again 2023 physique pro show. And I came in second. So I had a nice long run. Then I got that second place. And then so 3 years will be 2026. So I'll be starting prep in like February. And then we're going back to bodybuilding. So it's like, it's been bodybuilding, physique, and then back to bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So the only thing left to do, I guess, is classic physique.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of guys that compete, they compete in every single year. Now, granted, like I feel like, don't you feel like the divisions or the federations that allow PEDs are probably much more, there's much more competitors than say the natural leagues, right?
Oh yeah, that's like the big league. That's so natural bodybuilding. It's still underground.
Yeah,
like enhanced. That's and I coach enhanced, by the way. So but that's like mainstream.
Yeah.
Natural bodybuilding, like I had a client compete this just like 2 weeks ago. We were at a high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, man, I know I've been here before. I'm like, I have been to this exact, because at some point you've been to so many shows, you're like, I can't keep them straight. Yeah. And I'm like, I know I've been to this exact show, because we were back in it was like an auditorium, and it was like it's like where they do art and theater and stuff like that. And I'm like, I know I've been here. And then I went back through some pictures, and I was like, this is where I won my physique pro card.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so I was like back in 2015. Yeah. So I knew I had been there. But I mean, it's in a high school. So it's not really, they do what they can to like glam it up. And, once you get into like the world championships and stuff like that, they're in some bigger places, like venues. But for the most part, you're talking like in the back of a high school or something like that. So it's really, really underground, which is also something that I've always kind of liked about it because I'm a bit of a contrarian. So I'm like anything that's like unknown or like not many people are doing it. Like that's always kind of drawn me in.
Yeah. So how did you even, were you always working out and bodybuilding and stuff like that? Or like what made you even get into this?
So I was like between 19 and 20. I was in college. I was in Chicago, super skinny, like super duper skinny. Like if you go back and look at pictures of me, like I was like a twig.
Yeah.
Didn't care about health or anything like that. Actually, I was quite a bit of a partier when I was younger, which is wild to say now. Like people can't like see that, but I'm like, trust me, I was a big partier when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, like high school, college, like I was big on partying with my friends and stuff like that. So like once I started getting in my 19, 20s, started taking it a little bit more serious in my early 20s, and kind of right away I knew like I was like, I want to do bodybuilding. I don't know how I'm going to do bodybuilding. I don't know what to do, but I'm going to do it. And then once I got into it, I have a bit of an addictive personality. So I got the bug right away, and I just kept making mistakes. Like I was like really like spinning my wheels for the first couple of years, actually, because Cliff has really, he's coached me and then mentored me. And then through that process, we actually, became like best friends. But, so it was really like a lot of learning lessons until I got under the right guidance. And then I started, learning exponentially from there. But I would say like 19, 20-ish, and then like 21, 22, started getting real serious about it. And then after that, it was like, I never took a break, ever. And I don't plan on, I plan on doing this till I'm like, I don't know, like I would be like 90, like bodybuilding, and you see it out there. So it's possible. So I want to do it as long as I can.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. You can make a career out of that. You can do it from home. You can do it from anywhere, really. I actually interviewed one girl. You might know her, Lisa Franz. I'm notoriously bad with names. Yeah, so am
I. Are you? Like, but if I saw a picture or something like that, I would be able to maybe put a face to the name.
She's actually, Cliff knew her, but she travels the world just living in different places. But she does fitness coaching for Gen Pop people mostly. But she does, you can do it from anywhere. She's from Germany, but she's living in, I don't remember, South America somewhere. And then when she's done there, she's like, well, maybe I'll go here, or maybe I'll go. She's like, she's lived all over the world, which is phenomenal because you experience all these different cultures and work from anywhere. Yeah,
that's definitely, it's a luxury for sure, especially because I have worked many different jobs. And especially while I was getting like to a point where things were sustainable, which took a long time. Like it took a long time to get things to a sustainable spot. So like I was always working different types of jobs and stuff just to make ends meet. And once you do that, you realize like, oh my God, like being able to wake up with no alarm is one of the best things in the world. I wish I could say that, like, if someone asked me, like, what do you do? Like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, I don't do anything. I work. Like, that's all I do. I don't, maybe like once a year, I'll go like visit some family because I have family, like my parents live in Arizona and Florida for the winter. So I'll go there, but I'm working. I go there to work. Right. So I'm just doing the same thing in a different spot. So like, I work holidays. I work, I don't get that like bug to like go and travel and explore and do these things. It's hard for me to like do those things. Yeah. Like it's hard. I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
totally.
Because you're the same way too, right?
Yeah.
Like where you're just like, I work, like it's not.
You feel guilty, number one. And number two, you hate coming back because your workload is like all of those days that you were gone, you've now got to catch up on all of those days that you were gone and work. Even if you are working while you're on vacation, which most entrepreneurs do, there's still work when you come back.
That's the other side of that flip coin. Working from home, like, you don't have to, you could take breaks, but that work follows you everywhere. Yeah. So every hour that goes by, your inbox is just piling up. Right. So you got to be able to manage that. So it's not like there was a time where if I would be like on a date with my girlfriend, I'd be like, let me run to the bathroom. And I'd be in the bathroom like, all right, eat this amount of protein, this carbs, this amount of fats. All right, here's what we're gonna do with training this week.
Yeah.
And I learned like you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta take a little bit of time away. But like for me personally, it's more stressful and taxing on me to not work the way that I do. It's kind of like training. Like sometimes people will say like, wow, you must be so disciplined. I'm like, honestly, I don't feel that way at all. I feel like I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like it would be way more stressful for me to not manage my bodybuilding and like weigh my food and these types of things, track my food, all that stuff. It would be more work for me not to do those things. Like
Yeah.
I genuinely,
Yeah.
it's just what I do.
Yeah.
So I feel the same way about the work too.
I get, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I even get guilty even just going out on the gym floor and working out. And it's literally like right outside my door,
Yeah.
you know, and just because I feel like there's always something else I could be doing in my business.
Yeah.
I don't like taking that time away from my business.
Yeah.
So that gets very hard. And it's also put a different perspective in me because before, like when I was competing in like powerlifting and stuff like that, we had a small little community at the gym that we were doing that, right? We had a good group of guys that we were training with all the time. So it's kind of like the people that do CrossFit, they start questioning, well, why weren't you at class today? It'd be the same thing when we were competing. Like, why weren't you at training today?
So there's a little bit of accountability.
There's a little bit of accountability. And so when you lose that, you kind of lose, I don't want to say the motivation, but you lose that that luxury, right, of having somebody kind of next to you being like, let's go, let's keep going, blah, 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 right? So that's also harder to do as well, because now you're working out solo, which I know you do all the time.
I prefer to work out
you?
solo. Yeah, I actually really just like training with people.
Really?
Yeah, I don't need the push. I find it more distracting than anything. Like I don't need the rah 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 yelling at me. I never have found that motivational. It's always like, get out of my face. Like I don't need that to get like hyped up.
Yeah.
I could hype myself up. And I just find it like I find that I get taken out of my zone if I'm with people. So what's funny about that is like Cliff and I will train together frequently. Like we try to get in a training session every other week or something like that. But we don't train with each other. We train around each other because he's the same way. So I just find like there's too much chit chat. There's too much. I like to get into my headspace, listen to what I'm listening to, not be pausing it.
Yeah.
And I've always found that I've trained better. You know, like when there's big group workouts, like let's say there's like a summit or something like that, or like a talk somewhere, and everyone's like, let's go get a workout afterwards or something like that. And everyone's all excited about it. I'm like,
it's never a good workout.
It's the worst workout.
It's never a good workout.
It's the worst workout ever. I can go in, a lot of times I'm like, I'm taking a rest day.
Yeah.
I might as well just take a rest day because this workout is going to be absolutely worthless.
Right.
Like I'm just like cold, I can't get a pump, like things hurt, can't feel anything. I feel rushed. It's like, yeah, that's so funny that you feel the same way too then.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, when you train solo, how do you get yourself to be able to, you know, either push past failure, or because the biggest thing when you're training, if you're trying to put size on, improve body comp, you're constantly trying to go up to or close to or beyond failure, right? You're trying to do all of these things to push your limits, right? So how do you do that training solo? Are you doing a shit ton of drop sets, supersets? How does that work for you?
I do utilize high intensity techniques. I don't use them every session. If you start like using like high intensity techniques every training session, that can start to lead to like overuse injury. So I do like sprinkle them in. Like if volume and progressive overload, these are like the cake. High intensity techniques are the sprinkles.
Yep.
So I'll use them, but I'll use them sparingly, and then also intentionally, like for me, like legs, back, like that's where I use a lot of my techniques, and arms too, because like those are the areas that I'm focusing on. So I will kind of like when I put together a program, I will take those things into consideration when I like structure the plan out. Like where will I use a high intensity technique? Where will I go to failure? Because like if you're training with higher volume, which I do, and I do prescribe that for a lot of my bodybuilders. They are higher volume programs, especially like once they get really advanced. If you're going to failure all the time, again, there's always this balance between pushing your limit, going past your limit at times. It's good to do, so you need to know where your limit is, and then recovery.
Yeah.
So if you start to have recovery issues, you take a little bit of volume off or lower the failure sets. There's times, you know, it's kind of like things go in waves. But I will, like for me, legs is like, that's probably like, that's hard to do, like going to failure on legs. So what I actually find is the hard part about that is not really like getting there, but like when you're talking about like squats and things like that, that is where like training with a partner would be detrimental for me, because like I need to like put my music in. I need to think about some things. I need to pace. I need to just
zone in.
I need to shake the bar, and I can really only go there so many times during a training session. So like it's not necessarily even about the set, it's about the adrenaline.
Right.
So like if I'm programming my squats in, like I already know like if I squat, the rest of my workout is going to be it's gonna be, you know, that's gonna be the peak of the workout. So I'll program the squats in there
in the beginning.
No, like sometimes I'll go in the beginning, but mostly like towards the back end.
Okay.
Because like then,
for the volume.
For the adrenaline. Because after that, I'm like, it's like kind of like if you get in a car accident, like your adrenaline goes nuts, and then you're like you're tired and you're shaking. So like the rest of your exercises from there, you can still get there, but you're going to be weaker for them.
Sure.
So like if I put those in, if I go there at the very beginning of my workout, like it takes some work to like get to that place again for the rest of the workout. So I tend to like having those like kind of towards the back end, but I'll switch it up just for like strength purposes, because you will be a little bit stronger in the beginning. But for me, like that's really like, that's the hardest part, is getting the adrenaline up and kind of getting to that place. But that's where I find like I mean, it sounds kind of like silly, but like music is a big thing. Like I in fact, like I'll have clients like, if I suspect that they're not training hard, I'll say like, can you video I want to see your last set of an exercise that you feel like, what's an exercise you like? And they're like, oh, leg extensions or lat pull down or whatever. I'm like, all right, let me see the last set of that. And then you can kind of look and you're like, oh man, you had like 10 reps in reserve. And I think this serves two purposes. One, videoing yourself is huge, like is a huge flag for like what failure actually looks like. Because like you might feel like, man, I really pushed at that set. And then you look back at the video, you're like, oh man, I had a little bit more. Yeah. So like when you put that feeling to what you saw in the video as you're in the set, you can then be like, okay, I know I got one more. I could do one more. So I'll have them actually video their sets, and then I'll say like, okay, so we need to work on intensity. Can you get there? And then I'll have them send me their updated sets. I'm like, okay, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. I just want you to know what it feels like to go to your limit. So I'll be like, what do you do? What do you like? What is the before the set look like? Are you drinking caffeine before you work out? Like, what kind of music are you listening to in the car on the way to the gym? Like, what are you thinking about? And they're like, oh, I'm texting. I'm on YouTube. Yeah. I'm like, you're on YouTube listening to a podcast while you're training to failure? No.
Right.
That's like, there's a time and a place for that.
Yeah.
So what do you like to listen to? Hard rock? Awesome. Metal? Awesome. Rap? Let's go. So go ahead and put that music on, drink some caffeine, and let's go absolutely ballistic. And then I'll have them send me videos, and I'm like, there you go. And the more that they do that, the more they know, like, okay, what does failure feel like? And they know when they're kind of like just phoning it in.
Have you ever heard of the military's 40% rule? I think this is a big thing amongst the SEALs, where their mentality is that when you get to that spot where you feel like you're done, you're at failure, you're actually only at 40%. Because the mental block that most people put onto themselves limits their true capability. And I'm going to tell you what, I 100% believe that because I see it every day in the gym. People will come in here and be like, man, I really killed myself. And I'm like, you didn't even fucking break a sweat, you know? Or I watched you work out. You're not pushing yourself, you know? And so it really says something like if you're in here to improve, when I say here, the gym, to improve your physique, your body, lose weight, whatever it is, like you have to be able to push yourself past what you think is your limits, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, if your goal is physique enhancement, you're going to have to go there. And there's a you could give two people the same plan and one person is truly pushing themselves and the other one is kind of doing more of like a gen pop style. You're going to get a totally different result. So also I think like training to failure is like a skill. You know, like it's painful when you're not used to it. And don't get me wrong, it's painful, but like it's training to failure. It's supposed to feel that way. There's a pleasure in it too. When you really, you know, push it, there is a pleasure in and a satisfaction in going to that, you know, taking it to that level. But you get better with it at time. And a lot of times, like you said, people don't even know. Like they think what they're doing is one thing, and then that's why like training videos. Like I know it's awkward, and I know like a lot of people hate doing it. I hate doing it. You know, like putting up my phone and taking a video. But I've done it with myself. I'm like, let me just like, I want to see where I'm at with this. And then I'm like, okay, like I see where we need to go with this. And it's just, I mean, it's super useful.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about visual, you know, being able to visualize where you think you should be. You know? Yeah. And I have to say too, when you talk about the volume that you guys do, like your guys' volume is crazy. Your guys' like most like workout or bodybuilding books will say, oh, you know, 12 to 16 sets per body part per week. No, you guys, like, that's just your warm up.
So it's so contextual. Well, first off, I feel like it's kind of a hot button topic now because I feel like everyone is like afraid to push it past what is science based. You know, but it's contextual. I have clients that are able to progress on 15 sets, but I have clients that need 30 sets. So it's totally different for everyone. And some people are able to recover way quicker than other people. And like we were just talking about, like some people are training harder than other people, even when they're you know, bodybuilders and they're still pushing themselves. So man, I wish I could say that there is a general number, but there is no general number. I like to start with some numbers and then get that biofeedback.
Well, at the same time, it's also how long have they been training too? If you start with somebody that just started working out, 15 sets is probably going to be enough to start. But then you've got somebody that's been training for 20 years, 15 sets is probably not going to be enough. It's all over the map. I've seen it all over the map. Wow.
Yeah, I've seen people progress phenomenally at lower volume, and I've seen lower volume, again, contextually. So there's just no general rule for it, but it pays to push it. We have, I mean, you do see better results with as high a volume as you can do while still recovering.
Yeah, I mean, it's very individualistic. It is. That's true. Even food wise, right? Diet wise, there's no cookie cutter diet approach to losing weight, putting size on, whatever it may be. You know, I mean, I talked about this with Cliff. I remember him telling me, like, you know, when he prepped me for my show several years ago, you know, I think my carbs were less than 100. You know, the last few weeks. But then he had another guy that was doing 1,000 grams in peak week. It just blows my mind how different people's genetic makeup could change things?
It's just all over the place. So like when I start somebody, those are the least important numbers ever. What I mean by that is you can give someone some numbers and you're like, all right, this is what we can expect, but it's what you do with those numbers that makes it about that person and determines how they progress. So you're just getting the feedback from them. You see what their body does, you see what their weight does, you talk to them, and then you make changes from there. And then the plan starts to form to that person. And everyone's plan is so different. You got some people, even for example, like you know how body weight fluctuates from person to person? Everyone's fluctuations are different too. Like you got some people that can float 8 pounds just on a weekly basis.
Wow.
From changing food sources around, from being stressed, training legs, traveling, all these different things. And then you got another person who just, you know, within a pound or so, they'll fluctuate. So again, even that part is very, very different. So what you're really looking for is trends. So keeping track of trends, like what is this person's body doing? What is this person's weight doing? And then watching the trend and making sure the trend is going in the right direction. And then once you get to know the person, you can start to predict these things before they even happen. And that's kind of like what I'll tell people. I'll say, first off, I'm going to ask like bazillion questions just to get to like, this is like when I'm starting someone, just to kind of get to know as much as I possibly can. And then from there, you're like, all right, let's start monitoring this process. But eventually, I'm going to get to know your body so well that I'm going to know what it does before it even happens. And it always happens that way. Because as wild as some of those numbers can be, they do start to be predictable. So again, it's all about trends. But yeah, like food, huge, you know, food is hugely contextual in terms of like, you know, that's why you can't look at someone and be like, all right, these are your macros. Like if someone's like, what macros should I have? And you can't, and you're like, I need to ask you so many questions right now to even begin to give you like an educated answer. And then from there, again, like I said, you can start looking for the trends and making adjustments and things like that. But that's why like communication is so important. So like when working with someone, it's really like you develop a true partnership because it's a collaboration, big time. And you're looking for that feedback and communication and learning to communicate and talk about things leads to the best progress.
I could totally, that makes, now that as you're sitting there saying that makes complete sense because I don't know if you remember, I think I messaged you, I think it was early last year, and I had decided to do like a modified carnivore diet, right? You know, before my diet was pretty standard where it was, you know, chicken, beef, rice, potatoes kind of thing, you know, fruit. And then I'm like, you know what? I want to just try this. And I went to a modified carnivore, and the only thing that makes it modified is that I had fruit and honey and local organic maple syrup. And my body comp changed drastically for the better. I lost about 10 pounds, and I was taking in more calories. I was like, how the fuck is this happening right now? I'm taking more calories in, and my body comp is better than what it was if I was having more of a, I guess you would call it a traditional, you know, diet. And I had messaged you about it, and you said a lot of it could be water because you're not taking in all of those carbs. You know, like you said, it could be stress to inflammation. So many variables behind that.
One thing that happens, and this is something that we have to do all the time with people, is like whole foods are so different than like food product foods. Typically, like food product foods, all the additives and things like that are in there, they lead to inflammation. And I'm not saying like don't have those things, but the more of those things that are in there, the more like inflammation and water retention there is. Like a lot of times with bodybuilders, I'll have to put them on a meal plan in the last weeks of prep to bring down the inflammation and drop some of that water, they look real filmy.
Okay.
And they'll be hitting their macros, weighing their food to the gram, like everything is precise. But then we do the same thing just with a meal plan, and I'm talking like really predictable foods, because that's all you're looking for is predictability. So like chicken, beef, vegetables, fruit, honey, rice cakes, like single ingredient. There's no like multiple ingredients in these foods. You know, add a little bit of salt to it. They drop water and like crazy, and inflammation like crazy, to the point where they'll sharpen up within a day or two.
Wow.
Yeah. So believe it or not, food selection is so rare. Like good food selection is so rare.
It is. It's true.
That I consider it an advanced technique.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with having ultra processed foods. I have them. Like there's nothing wrong with having an ultra processed food. I think there's some benefits to having an ultra processed food, but you want to have if optimization is the goal, you want to have the majority of your foods just these normal, boring, basic ass foods.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't want to hear that, because it is boring and bland. Like a big thing with people is seasonings and sauces and all of these different things. Like they have to have these super highly palatable foods, like to the point where even like if they put salt and olive oil on something, that tastes like too bland for them. I'm like, what? This is delicious. Like salt and olive oil, that is like so delicious.
So delicious.
But they're like, I need garlic salt and I need onion salt and all these things.
And you think those that makes a difference?
Oh God, yeah.
Really?
A huge difference. Huge difference. First off, all those things have calories in them. So a lot of times these calories are getting
like onion and garlic salt will have calories?
Anything under 5 calories can be labeled as no calories.
Wow.
Yeah. So just by the FDA. So even if it's like 4.9 calories, let's face it, people are not.
Right.
No calories? Let's go.
Yeah,
mustard.
right.
So by the end of the day, so you got to think of it, like by the end of the day, you've put on hot sauce.
Yeah.
You've put on all of these seasonings across multiple meals, mustard, like all these different things. God, don't even get me started with like Walden's Farms, like generic sweeteners and all of that stuff. All of these things are adding up across the week, and they do cause water retention. They do cause inflammation. So removing those things helps to expel that and just clean the physique up. But also like your palate now requires flavor. So what I'll do a lot of times with bodybuilders before prep is I'm like, all right, we need like, let me look at your diet and things like that. Cause again, like, you know, like these things are okay in moderation, but if, you know, a lot of times they're making up like a lot of their calories, or these are just calories on top of the plan. Yeah. So they're taking in a lot more. So, when, you know, when you have a look into things and you like take a microscope and look at the diet, you're like, okay, like let's get all this flavoring out of here. Like let's go down to the basics. Like let's get your palate ready for prep, because that's going to help you with your cravings immensely during prep. If you're just requiring all of this flavor, that's going to make those cravings way more intense. Yeah. So I find that they're just more calm during prep, because they're not just having all of these like immense cravings. Like there's no way around hunger. You're going to be starving. But if you can like get your palate trained, it gives you a way bigger advantage. And also it's good for like skill in general, because like even if you're eating at a restaurant and things like that, you start to be able to taste like what's in food. Like, like I ordered this plain. This isn't plain. I can taste the seasonings on here. I can taste the oil and the butter in this. So let me go ahead and add some calories on top of that meal. So like when I fit it into my calories, now I'm like covering the spread. So it helps to like just be able to hone in on that skill of like being able to like estimate food, because also that's another big thing, being able to like eat at restaurants and just live a life that's not so reclusive, you know, going out and doing, you know, normal things, and being able, like being in tune with your palate and being able to be like, oh, I can taste that there's this amount of, you know, fats or what carbs in this food. And then you can kind of adjust your day accordingly. That makes complete sense, because when I was doing the carnivore diet, you're right. Like I did not have the cravings that I would on my normal, like sweets. I had no cravings for sweets. It was just, I would look at it, I was like, meh, I don't really,
I have no craving for it. But when I was on a more heavier carb centric diet, I was like, oh, let's get some of those Reese's. Let's get some of those Take Fives.
Yeah.
You know, it does make a difference. And I remember again when I was doing prep, Cliff during peak week, or it might even been the last 2 weeks, he had me a very bland diet. But when I was eating like like a lean roast or some type of lean red meat, and he allowed me to drizzle olive oil and salt on there, I was like, this is the best fucking food I've ever had in my life.
That's a peak week brain for sure. The peak week is nuts. So like, I remember this one time during peak week, because you're right. That stuff tastes amazing.
Yeah.
Carrots taste like candy. Like carrots taste like candy. You're like, I remember there was this one time during peak week and I was having like an extra rice cake. Like you put an extra rice cake and I think that was it. Just like an extra rice cake and maybe a little extra fruit or something like that. And I was like, this is what my brain said. Oh, I don't deserve this. I'm like, it was so good that I was like, I don't even deserve this. That goes to show like where you're at when you're depleted. Do you think you'll ever compete again?
No.
Oh, that was a hard no, like a
Hard
quick no.
I'm one and done.
What was it? What was the experience like for you?
It was actually. I think it was twofold. It was good. Again, I had always competitively powerlifted, not a ton. You know, I competed like a handful of times, but for me, that's a lot considering I started later. But I just wanted to say I did a bodybuilding show. I just don't have the genetics for bodybuilding, right? Because when I did it, I did classic physique, and I was in the weight class. I forgot it goes up to 181. What class is that? Do you remember?
What goes up to 181?
Yeah, what division is up to 181? It's like 165 to 181.
I think you can do both.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and when I was in that class, I was the lightest of that group. And I just wanted to do it and say I did it,
Sure.
you know? But I ended up getting in the top 5, which I was I had no expectation of that.
Yeah.
I just was like, I just want to say I did it. So that was really cool. But again, I think looking back, I kind of like, hindsight's 2020, but I think I could have done even better had I just maybe buckled down a little bit more, you know, both.
Think you could have been leaner or?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I could. Cause you guys like Cliff especially is very well known for getting his people like dick skin peeled, you know? And so I don't think I got to that point. I think I had so much going on in the business at the same time that it was hard to, I don't want to say commit, but get that super lean. But again, it was a great experience overall. You know, I'm glad that I did it. But no, never again.
Yeah. No, you're right. No hesitation there. I get it. I mean, and I don't know another sport like that where every single thing you do dictates the result. I mean, your sleep, your stress.
Yeah.
I mean, managing a full-time job, there's more than a full-time job. You know what I mean? Owning your own businesses and stuff like that. It's very difficult. You gotta like, the goal has to be like, I want that more than anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you know what it's like when it's like midnight and you're like, I'm so hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just don't have it in me for that. Now what I do want is, I compete in jiu-jitsu. That I want to get extremely good at.
That's awesome.
That is where my headspace is.
How are you
now.
liking it?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I wish I would have picked it up 20 years ago.
Really?
Yes.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's
hands down the best thing that I've ever done.
That's awesome. Not many people have a thing that they love that much. I mean, I can see your face light up right when you said it. You know, not many people have like. Well, actually, it seems like you have multiple passions.
I do.
Yeah.
Too many.
No, I feel like that's what life's about, though.
Yeah.
Plus, I also feel like having passions, like multiple things, makes you better and more well-rounded to the point where actually, going back to bodybuilding, like if I have a bodybuilder and their only focus in life is bodybuilding, I'm like, we got to work on this.
Yeah.
Like you can't spend all day thinking about bodybuilding. Like when you have your meal, you're just going to sit there and is this digesting properly?
Right.
Is this enough training volume? Is this
Yep.
enough? I find that people start to like really, really become high stress when it's like their only thing.
And
Their only
they
outlet.
get burnt out very quickly
They get
too.
way burned. That you're absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the people that like it's all they have, typically they don't really last.
Correct.
In the sport. So like a lot of times I'll be like, do you have any passions? And actually I had a client just recently say he used to do jujitsu and he was thinking about taking it up again. I'm like, you absolutely should take that up again. Like he was a competitor, but he's not competing now because like obviously if you're a competitor, that's
Yeah.
gonna cut into your progress, like
100%.
I actually used to play softball, and this was like back in I was in my earlier career, and I was like, man, I am more beat up after one game of softball than I am a full week in the gym. I'm like, it's gotta go.
Oh yeah,
It's gotta go.
my training volume split and volume is night and day now.
Yeah.
Before I would work out 5 to 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Now I'm pushing it at 3 days a week because if I'm doing jujitsu for 4 or 5, the amount of toll that puts on my body, I can't recover fast enough to be able to come in here and do an intense weightlifting session.
Absolutely. How long are the jujitsu sessions?
Usually 90 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's. Would you be like competing and doing like?
Yeah. So I competed last month, and that was my first competition since my surgery because I tore my pec, and so I had surgery in January to get it reattached, and then I competed for the first time after that in August. But prior to that, like last year, I think I competed at least 10, maybe 12 times or something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're gonna keep it rolling.
Oh
like
yeah,
keep
yeah.
That's awesome.
Because it's like there's one thing about training in the gym and sparring in the gym. It's a whole nother level when you get onto a competitive mat and you're going against somebody in a competitive way.
Yeah.
Because it's a different level. It sharpens your game. When you go back to the gym and get on the mat with your normal training partners at the gym, you're like, this is like nothing, right? Because you're just like you said, that adrenaline.
Yeah.
You don't have that adrenaline flush like you do when you go out onto a big mat and you've got all these people watching you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you're going to bed somebody that you have no idea how their game is, what they're all about, you know?
Yeah. Man, the gym's that's all glamour muscles.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
so funny. Like a lot of times, I remember when I was working, I told you I worked other jobs.
Yeah.
And another one I worked for my family business on and off like my whole life. And it's a home improvement company. And so a lot of times you're going to be like, you know, lifting things and
Yep.
a shipment would come in and they'd be like, you know, you're in the office. They'd be like, Mikey, you got muscles. Go ahead and lift these things. Meanwhile, I was in prep, lean as could be, like zero energy, zero padding. So like they're these giant like tubes, right?
Yep.
And they're like 400 pounds. And so it'd take 2 people to like carry them off a truck, right? So you're putting it on your shoulder. I have no padding on my traps. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's painful. I'm like, you guys don't understand. These are glamour muscles. They are not for function. And then meanwhile, you'd have someone come in. They were up all night drinking, smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
You could smell the alcohol in their breath. And they are so strong. They're like, he's like, I'll lift this thing myself. Puts a cigarette out, grabs a tube. Hands are just like giant calluses.
Isn't that funny?
You're like, oh man, the contrast here is ridiculous.
It is. It's crazy. It pisses you off. You're like, God, I worked my ass off in the gym, and you got this guy that, you know.
No warm up.
No warm up.
No more. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, go ahead and lift this. I'm like, God, I gotta
Yeah.
let me warm my shoulders up. Like, I can't like just lift this
Right.
stuff. I don't want to get hurt. You know what I mean? They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're such a baby. I'm like, hey man, like I said, this is glamour muscles completely.
Yep.
You know what's funny about that too is like, so while I was working in an office, it was like 9 to 5 hours pretty much. And so like, I'd be like weighing my food and doing all of my weird bodybuilding things and stuff like that. And it's at the point where I don't care. Like I know like a lot of people will like get like sheepish about those things or like people will give them shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, wherever I go, I'm like, they're like, you're doing like, what are you doing with your food? And I don't, you know what I mean?
Yep,
The
same.
other opinions do not affect me.
Yep, same.
So I'm just doing my thing, weighing my food out. And then, over time people start looking, asking questions. And then after a couple months, they're watching their calories.
Yeah.
They're going, how many calories do you think are in this? What do you think about this? People are losing weight around me. I'm like, I'm not coaching them. They're just doing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like people are just kind of like picking up on it.
So do you like which do you like coaching better, like competitors or Gen Pop or lifestyle or?
So the thing about competitors, they will eat dirt if you tell them it'll get them closer to their goal.
Yeah.
They're like, you want me to do it? So it is full on, like, that's me. Like, this is what I do. Like, this is my life. This is, my biggest passion in life. I'm like you, I have many passions, but bodybuilding is my biggest passion in life. And so that's how I am. Like, I'm like, let's do every single thing that we can, dot every I, cross every T. So there is a difference because sometimes, bodybuilders, they're like that, but Gen Pop, depending on the person, they might just be trying to get through the day. Some people are, everyone's working on different things and stuff like that, but, you gotta kind of, that is a totally, if I'm talking to, in one email, I'm talking to a 6'5", 210-pound bodybuilder who's a construction worker getting ready to step on stage in 2 weeks. And in the next email, I'm talking to someone who is, 40 years old, mom of 3, working on weight loss, but also trying to take care of a family, manage a marriage, all these different things. That's a pretty drastic difference in tone. Time. So, I love both. I love it all. So, the biggest thing is as long as they're there to get results and to work, I'm all in. It doesn't matter who it is. I'll do any and everything to get you there at the pace we need to go. And that is totally different for every single person. But a lot of times, if I'm doing that change, I need to take a moment to go from one to the next because it is such a jarring difference. One of the things I like doing, I like working at coffee shops because one, I think I have ADHD and I need action going on around me.
Okay.
Even when I'm at home working, I gotta have noise. I need to have something on. I'm not watching it. I just need it in the background, like TV, podcasts, stuff like that. I might peek my head out every once in a while or something like that. And I just need noise and stuff like that. So I've always really liked the action going on at coffee shops because there's just noise and things happening around me. So a lot of times I'll go there and do work because I do feel like it helps me with workflow. But atmosphere makes a difference. So sometimes if I'm going to a coffee shop, I'm going to make some dietary changes. I know I'm going to be working with some lifestyle people. I'm going to go to this nice coffee shop and kind of, get into that mode. And then if I know I have some training changes to make or something like that, that requires a completely different mindset for me. So I'm timing my caffeine. I'm all right, we're going to get up for this. We're going to start, we're going to work at this coffee shop. And because of the different atmosphere and things like that. And so it's just about being in a different mindset. And I do feel like with coaching, you got to get into some different headspaces.
Yeah.
Honestly, the biggest part of the job is psychology and communication, really. Diet, training, I've been doing this long enough where I can make those changes in my sleep. It would take a lot for me to see something I haven't seen before. And so the changes, that's the easy part. It's kind of the psychology of it all that is the biggest component. And for me, that's actually the most interesting. Yeah.
You had mentioned earlier that you look at trends. If you're first starting to work with somebody, how much data do you need to start seeing trends on somebody?
A week.
That's it?
Yeah, a week. Yeah, you start, you go, okay, here's where we're at. Here's your body. Here's your weight. Here's the plan. Go through the week. Now we're starting to see the trend. What does the body do? What does the weight do? How are you feeling? And it starts right there.
Are you having them the first week? Are you having them weigh themselves every day or just once a week?
Just once a week.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought that you would have needed at least a month.
No.
Wow.
No. Yeah. I mean, you can. If you have a plan, and let's say your goal is weight loss, like you start at, I'll just throw in 180, and then you take your weight on Monday, and the next Monday you're 178. You're already on the right track. Yeah, that's all it takes, and you just go from there. Take it week by week, and that's really all. That quick.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And those people that you work with that mentioned that some just have extreme weight fluctuations week over week. Is that mostly water weight, or do you think people are actually putting on adipose tissue, like fat tissue?
No, it's everything. Stress, the size of the person. Like I mentioned, if I'm working with someone who's 6'5", 6'5" person is going to have some bigger swings than a 5'2" person.
Sure.
So kind of you have to take that into consideration as well. Where did the food come from? How much sodium did they have? Did they go out to eat at a restaurant? Restaurants nothing bounces the weight around like restaurants. So you just don't know what's in the food. Basically, the more variables you have in a week, the more things start to float around. And that's also why like sometimes like getting control of the variables through a meal plan works so well, because all you're doing is bringing down variables. Once you have the basic foods, you can really, it makes things so much more streamlined.
Do you look at, when you're starting with somebody, do you ask them, okay, what is your weekly activity level so that you know where to kind of start carbs? Because I assume most of the people that you work with, you're aiming for 1 gram per pound of body weight.
As far as protein?
Yeah, protein, sure.
It depends.
Really?
Yeah, that's also contextual. Sometimes people can handle a lot of protein. Sometimes people can't handle a lot of protein. Also, if you're starting someone up, if you add in 1 pound of body protein, like let's say you have like a 190 pound person who's never counted protein in their entire life, that is so much protein. So you don't even have to start it at 1 pound. But also if you have someone that's big, they're advanced, they've been training, you could eat more protein than that.
Yeah.
So again, there's just this huge spectrum. But I do take activity into consideration
to know where to start their carbs.
What do you do for work? What do you do for fun? Do you have a dog? Do you have pets? What's your social life like? Things like that. But again, those starting numbers are just really the most unimportant ones, because you just make adjustments. So you're always tinkering, and that's when the plan starts to become insert person's name. So it's really about what you do with the adjustments to the plan.
Do you find it harder for some of those, like you mentioned, like those busy moms that are running a household to be able to stick to a meal plan?
Yeah, meal plans are very temporary. I use them in certain scenarios. One, the weight's not moving. We got to get rid of these variables. I know that, on X amount of calories, you should be losing weight. So we got to get rid of the variables, all these different food sources, seasonings, all that stuff that I was talking about before. So, the final weeks of prep, something like that. And then also as like a skill building, like these are kind of like how you should be framing most of your meals. Also, if someone just can't track. Like I life's too busy. Dumb this down for me. I'm like, all right, like let's do this. While we build up the skill of being able to track while life gets chaotic.
Yep.
Because absolutely, when you're managing a household, and when bodybuilding, they're not worried about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make up. It's all a total obligation. Like track all of those things. It's like I don't want to do any of this. So you need to build the habit. And then also get to a point where like things feel very overwhelming at first, because it's like starting anything new, like jujitsu or whatever. Like when you're starting and you're having to track food, most people don't even know how to what is
I was gonna
in
say,
food,
yeah,
or like what
yep.
how to count calories,
Yep.
or where to even begin with it. So you
I was
need
going
to
to say
like
there is a learning curve behind tracking macros.
oh totally
Yeah.
totally. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's addition and subtraction. However, like things become difficult when it's food.
Yeah.
So, you know, building those skills in the beginning, starting where the person is at. Like if I were to throw like an advanced plan at a complete beginner, they would quit within a week.
Yeah.
Like you got to start where the person is at and then build at whatever pace you need to build. And I find that if you take it bit by bit, they learn quicker and it becomes way less overwhelming. I always like, whenever I start someone, I never like to try to predict the future and be like, okay, when this happens, this, like, or when, you know, when you go to a restaurant, this is what we're gonna do. And I find that when you have even like the tracking of the activity and stuff like that, I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll handle all of that. You just do your thing. Let's focus on the nutrition, workouts. I will handle the rest. That's all I need. Just communicate with me and I will make the changes to handle the rest. And as long as they communicate, then I will be able to do that easily. But I find that like if you try to do too much, the person gets overwhelmed. So rather I say like, let's start where we're at. When something comes up, we're going to handle it together. So this is where the talking and the communication becomes so important. And like, let's say you're going out to eat and you're like, okay, it's date night. Crap, what do I do? Like, you know what I mean? It's off plan. Oh no. So I'm like, let's talk about it. Like, where are you going out to eat? I'll pull up the menu online. I'll look at their food. I'll say, okay, like, do you want to track this food or do you want something a little bit more flexible? And we'll kind of like prepare the day in advance for whatever approach they want.
You provide like white glove service almost.
Everything short of going in the house and spoon feeding them. Yes, yeah, I mean it. When I'm like all in, it's like I'm all in. So I'll go and I'm like, let's have this. You know what I mean? What do you know? We'll collaborate on the food. This is what I think you should have.
Yeah.
Here are the macros, or here are the calories, depending on what they're counting, and then we'll factor it into their day ahead of time, so they can go. Don't even think about it. And then you know, we'll approach each occasion depending on how, you know, what we're doing at the time. And during that process, you're teaching. So I'm like, okay, whether the weight goes up or goes down, then I get to use this as a teaching moment. And through gaining that experience, they're learning. Even if they don't know it, they're learning.
Right.
And so the more that you do that, it's not uncommon for like a lifestyle client for me to be like, by like after we've been working together for a while, when they check in, they're like, yeah, I did this week and I ate this, but I know, you know, from our experiences that this is why this happened. And I find like when people know why things are happening, the process becomes a lot smoother when they know exactly why. So yeah.
Yeah. If your clients are dropping weight week over week, is there, I know what you're going to say, it all depends, but I'm still going to ask.
That's like my answer to everything. It's also,
but it's true.
It's true. And it's also why like on social media and online, it's like, it's hard to like really like talk about things because
it's not black and white.
It's not binary. No, not at all.
So if somebody is dropping weight week over week, let's use a scenario. Let's say you got one client that loses 1 pound week over week, and you got another client that loses 5 pounds week over week, and the prior week you made maybe a small adjustment, but the one that lost 1 versus the one that lost 5, and the goal is weight loss or body recomp. Are you going to adjust the macros the same between the two clients? When I say, let's just say for scenario purposes, they're the same height, they weigh the same gender, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
The person lost 1 pound. Are you only going to raise them like maybe 100 calories versus the one that lost 5 pounds? You're going to raise them 300 calories? Like, what does that ceiling look like?
It depends. So, like, are these lifestyle people? Are these bodybuilders? Like, what stage are we in?
Let's say lifestyle.
Okay, so these are Gen Pop.
Yep.
And we're working on weight loss.
Yeah.
And one person lost 5 pounds. Well, so for both of those scenarios, I would not change anything.
Really?
Yeah. So like if you're losing 1 pound, I'm like, awesome. Like, that's great. Like a 1 pound drop that's a great drop.
Yeah.
You know, so if that is right in line with target pacing, there's no need to make any changes. If they drop 5 pounds, is this a fluke? Is this a 1 week thing? I don't know. We need to find out. Also, losing 5 pounds when weight loss is the goal and it's just gen pop. I'm not sure. What did you say the weight was of these people? Did you say?
Same weight.
No,
same
but what is that weight?
Let's say
how heavy?
Let's say it's a female that's 145.
145. I might have that person check in midweek to tell me like what the weight's doing, and if it's not doing anything like dodgy, I'd probably just keep it going. If it's continuing to drop like that, then I would consider adding in more calories or adjusting things.
Okay.
But other than that, also if it's like towards the beginning, like that is something to take into consideration. Sure. Also, what they did the week previously is something. Were they on vacation? Were they at a restaurant? Like, where is that drop coming from? Like, is this the first drop, or have we been working together for a long time?
Right.
So there's so many. You see what I mean by like there's so many moving parts.
Yeah.
But in both of those scenarios, I would probably not make any adjustments. And then certainly with the 1 pound, if our at 145, that's a great drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep that rolling. But if it's the 5 pound, check in midweek. Let's see what that's doing. If it's doing nothing crazy, then let's just keep it going.
But at the same time, let's say that same scenario, if that person is trying to achieve weight loss and they're dropping every week, do you want to increase their calories? Because doesn't that tell you that their body is utilizing those calories efficiently, so their metabolism is like firing on all cylinders? So
you mean if they're continuing to drop every week?
Yeah.
Like if they're dropping 1 pound every week?
Yeah.
No, that's great pacing.
But would you want to increase calories, or do you just stay?
Yeah, just stay.
No shit.
Yeah. No need to increase right there. If you increase, you may slow the pacing.
Okay.
Yeah, and if that's great. Like if you're looking for like a 0.8 or a 0.5, you know, like if you got a girl who's like 105, that is totally different.
Totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah.
So in that case, then yes. But
Yeah.
if that person is 145 and they're losing 1 pound per week, that is like perfect pacing.
Yeah.
If that was me, you know, and I'm cutting and I'm losing 1 pound per week, I'm not touching a thing. Yeah, that is like perfect pacing. It would have to like, you'd have to start getting up there into some big drops. Also, like with Gen Pop people, you're not really getting lean enough where you got to worry about like muscle loss and things like this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's different. But even like with someone who's in prep or something like that, if you're losing like a pound a week, you know, depending on the phase, like that's great pacing.
Yeah. So, but so let's say the inverse, right? They're not trying to lose weight, but they're you're trying to maximize the amount of calories that their body could utilize without putting weight on.
Gotcha. So are you talking maintenance or like slow build? Like
slow build.
Okay, gotcha. Like what?
If that person is losing weight every week thereafter, are you increasing calories then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if they're maintaining, I would even probably increase calories depending on the person. If they're losing, certainly. That is a signal that their body is ready for more food. As long as like everything is being adhered to, and it was like that is a sign that their body is ready for more food, and then you would slowly let that weight float up. Competitors, you're looking for more of a target number. Like you're looking, you know, you want to gain like if you don't gain like half a pound to a pound or something like that, increasing calories. Gen Pop, you know, you're looking for more of a slower trend because the weight tends to float up on its own just because they live a completely different lifestyle than a competitor who's like weighing their food all the time, like saving restaurants for special occasions and things like that. So you're just kind of always tinkering and adjusting based on the person and also based on what happened that week. So I know it's such a nuanced
but it makes
answer,
complete sense.
Yeah.
But that shows you like there is a true science behind what you do. You know, I think there really is. I mean, one thing that drives me nuts is people will read this shit online and the first thing they'll do is they'll take carbs out of their diet.
Yeah.
And it's like, I say like, no.
It's too much information out
the
there.
yeah.
Also, a lot of times people are looking for a formula. They're like, so how do you do this? I'm like, I don't have a formula. I'm like, I got no formulas. No formulas for anything. I don't type in anything like or anything like that and be like, all right, this person's this amount of weight. This is, I mean, like I said, the adjustments are where the magic happens. Like that, the trends, the biofeedback, that is the process. There's no formulas, no blueprint, even with training. Like a lot of times people are like, all right, so here's the plan, but that plan's got to get modified now. Like, what are you feeling? What aren't you feeling? What exercises aren't you feeling right now? Okay, you're not feeling rear delts. It's time to work on rear delts. So send me a video of you doing some, chest supported reverse flies, and now I need to see things. Okay, use this technique. I want you to do one arm at a time. I want you to feel your rear delt when you're working. You got a training partner, have them put their index fingers on your rear delts. Let's get these things firing. So you're always just looking and then making the assessment and then adjusting based on the feedback. That's why the feedback and the communication is so or so important. But a lot of times, especially with men, communication skills just suck. So you have to it's weird to be communicating with a guy every single week or multiple times per week. You know what I mean? If you're not used to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be a pride, it could be an ego pride. It's just a unique process. So you have to kind of build that trust and that partnership up to the point where someone feels comfortable talking. Yeah. And, I need help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, you need help. Like if it's 10 o'clock at night and you've overshot your carbs for the day, shoot me a message. Let me know. There's nothing that can't be fixed. Just shoot me a message. So the people who talk to me the most always see the best results and the quickest. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, totally it does.
Yeah.
So okay, same scenario. Gen Pop, you're programming their workouts as well. Now you've got your workouts, like we talked about, are super high volume. And let's say this client's worked with you for a while. How are you programming that mother that's running a household to be able to do 30 or 40 sets in a workout?
They're not doing 30 or 40.
No,
they're not that's not a competitor.
Sure.
So it all starts with what's the goal. Each goal comes with a cost, right?
Yeah.
So what's the goal? Also, with that goal, you're doing this for fun or you want to be the best? Obviously, if you're a competitor, most people are like, I want to be the best I can be on stage. Well, then we work backwards. Okay, this is what needs to happen. A mom, I have moms that are just doing 2 workouts a week and some runs. Totally different,
Yeah.
And that comes from the feedback. Again, it's like, I really miss running. I want to run for my mental health. Okay, you're not competing. You could build the process around each person from the ground up, and it looks different for everybody. So some of them, I got to get this workout done in 10 to 15 minutes. Cool. We're gonna do some circuit training right here.
Right.
Some squats to press and things like that. Really, we're looking for efficiency, so you can get this done and then go on about your day and take care of your family and take care of your business and all these different things. Totally different than a bodybuilder who is looking to optimize everything. So yeah, they'll be, having longer training sessions and, pushing the volume and pushing their limits. But then the person who's just trying to lose a couple pounds, be the best that they can for where they're at in life, feel better, be healthier, things like that, their training is just going to look entirely different.
It's wild because you're working like with on each end of the spectrum.
So different. That's what I
So
mean.
different.
Like that's what I mean by like I have to get into completely different. I can't just go from one to the one to the one to one like a grinder. I have to. I really have to get into different spots. Like, what does this person need right now? Like, it's totally different. It's a totally different language. Like
It
the
is.
way that you talk to, it's no, like the way that you talk to different people in life. And, but the more that you work with someone, you guys really get to know each other. You know what's going on in their life. You know what I mean? They're having a wedding, their parent died. You know, you go through all of these things together.
Yeah.
They know what's going on with you.
Yeah.
You know, they ask questions too. Like they're like, hey, I saw that your client won his pro card, or hey, like how's the growth phase going, or something like that. And
Yeah.
that's coming from a mom who's
Yeah.
like, listen to you talking about growth phase. Like that's amazing. You know,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So, yeah, I think a lot of people who maybe want to get into coaching don't really take that into consideration. They just have the same approach for everyone, and that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone needs something completely different. So it's such an alternative job.
Yeah.
But man, I love it. I love it more now than I ever did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's hard to find because I've said often where people that make their passion their job oftentimes will lose the passion. I mean, I could even admit, like, I've lost a little bit of passion with working out because of running a gym. Because you
totally see that.
you deal with
Yeah.
you deal with the general public, you know.
It seems like you keep things fresh, though. I mean, podcast, and I mean that's just a whole.
try.
Like you have multiple. Seems like you have multiple outlets.
Yeah, I do. I have to.
Yeah,
That's kind of where I've got. I don't want to say I have ADD, right? But
we all do.
yeah,
At this
we all
point.
do at this point.
Yeah.
But I know I have opportunity ADD. I'm always like, oh, you know, there's this new shiny opportunity. Let's go do that. You know, and then there's this one. Then there's this one. You know,
It's
which
got to be
is
something for like trying new things and not being afraid to fail at things, right? Like, I
Oh,
mean, I
yeah,
gotta
no.
imagine you like. I feel like that's a gift, being able to see opportunities and then even more so, like seizing them. Like you go
Yeah.
after. That's probably why you're so successful. You know, you try all. These
yeah.
different things.
Well, I'm nowhere near the level that I want to be. You know, nowhere near.
Join the club.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I'm nowhere near. I mean, there's people that do the same shit as me and they do it 10 times better. But I think the difference of what makes them 10 times better is they hyper focus on one thing.
I can see that.
Right? It's kind of like you. That's what makes you a great coach, is because you hyper focus on that one line of business, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. You know,
Yeah.
it'd be one thing if you were trying to coach and, you know, and then you're also trying to do, you know, X, Y, and Z. One person only has so much bandwidth. When you start taking on other things, you're going to take away from something else.
You are so right.
Yeah.
I think that's also why a lot of influencers aren't great coaches.
Oh yeah.
Because how can you be an influencer if you've ever talked to an influencer? That is a more than a full-time job.
Full-time, yeah.
Full-time job and stressful. So like you can't be great. I mean, I'd never say never, but like you can't be, I don't think you can be as good as you can be if you're just focused on the one thing. And kind of going back to your point where like you said that there's, you know, other people doing things like 10 times as much and stuff like that. I think like once you get into anything, like because of like the internet and things like that, there's so much information out there,
much.
and you're constantly seeing so many people and people doing different things and people doing this at this level or that at that level, that it can be like overwhelming. I think a lot of young people are really struggling with this. I know they are.
Yeah, they are. Well, because they see, like you said, they see what online and they see these people that are living crazy lifestyles.
Yeah.
And they think they could do the same, but they don't really know what's behind that. You know, there's actually one guy, I don't want to say his name, but he was a fitness coach. He was a personal trainer in a gym, and he tells this story all the time. He was a personal trainer, and he was like basically broke, and then he started doing online coaching, and then became successful with that. And now he's doing training the online coaches. This guy does $1 million a month in fucking revenue from doing this business model.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. $1 million a month.
That's nuts.
Now, granted, he's got costs behind that because he's got a team behind it. That it's all about building a sales funnel. You know, say what you will about that business strategy. I think the positive out of that is all of those people that all of those fitness coaches that he's creating. He's helping the general population understand food and working out much better than they would in a magazine that you read in the grocery aisle, right? Nowadays, there is so much misinformation out there about training and diet. I feel like not a lot, but a good portion of fitness coaches actually help Gen Pop people understand food better than what they would. Like, you're not going to fucking learn it in school. No. They don't teach that shit in school.
They should.
They should.
Yeah.
Right? And now, I don't know if you've seen this. I talked about this on here before too, but you ever seen that meme that goes around that shows the population at a beach in 1960 versus the population now?
Yeah.
And it's like,
I forget what it is. I think Indiana's up to 40% obesity, which is more than, so regionally is more than nationally. Nationally, I think it's like 38% right now. Indiana's 40%. That's obese. So we're talking like, you know, out of shape. That's a completely different story. But I do think like with more fitness coaches, that could be a good thing. It's always been hard for me to like understand like how to do something on like a scale terms because like I can only take on so many people. Like because of like the process, I can only take on so many people to maintain quality. Yep. And like I've seen people say like help thousands of people. I'm like, how are you helping thousands of people? I can't even take on that many people. Yeah. So you know, I it's different for what type of fitness coach, because I know also like some of them are like more on like mass scale instead of like one-on-one. And then also like what does that one-on-one look like? Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of those coaches, because he teaches this, is he'll teach those coaches to hire coaches underneath them. And a lot of them are like virtual people online in like Mexico or the Philippines. And they're teaching those people the system, and then the clients it's just one big funnel, right?
Gotcha.
And so that's how they're able to do so many clients at once. Now, the quality of work, I don't know. They're definitely not going to get the white glove service like you provide.
I like that. I like the white glove. I've never heard that. The white glove service. I'll take pride in that.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that, you know. But I mean, there's a lot of different ways to make money out there. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, there is. Do you do you have some different things that you got coming down the pipeline, or different aspects you're working on?
Most of the same stuff, you know. The gym, obviously, really trying to build the brand. You know, COVID really put a dent in the business. Yeah. And so, you know, we did a renovation a couple of years ago. And so now my goal is every year, just keep adding more to the club. You know, this year we brought in a bunch of new equipment. We did some more branding around the gym.
I need to do another photo shoot here.
You do, yes.
During prep.
Yeah,
next
for sure.
time. Yeah.
Come on out.
Yeah.
So just, you know, trying to bring the business to the next level. You know, the podcast, obviously trying to grow the podcast. I'm still doing the real estate stuff, trying to grow that. So, you know.
Dude, you're a beast.
Yeah, I got a couple other things that I'm working on, but that's about
You got that dog in you.
Yeah.
Where it's like you don't stop. I
don't.
Is it hard for you to relax?
Yeah. Yes and no. Yes. If I do sit down and I do watch some TV, I feel guilty that I'm watching TV.
Same here. Like if you're like actually sitting down and watching TV.
Yeah.
Same here.
But at the same time, like I need it.
Yeah.
Because literally like TV is the only thing that shuts my mind down for a period of time where I'm not thinking. Like, for example, working out, you mentioned like some of your clients are watching fucking YouTube or, you know, on podcasts while they're working out. Like that's not me. But one thing that I am doing is like while I'm working out, I'm answering emails, I'm answering texts.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's really hard to get into the workout when you're like, even if I say, all right, I'm just going to shut this shit off for this next hour.
Yeah.
I'm still sitting there working out and I'm getting ready. If I'm getting ready for a lift, like a squat or something like that, I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot to send this. I forgot to do this. And you know,
you're
then
elsewhere.
I'm like,
you're not present. Yeah.
I'm not present.
Yeah.
I'm terrible about that.
Well, you know what though? I mean, again, it kind of goes back to like, that's not ideal for a competitor.
No.
But, you know, you're not competing. You know, so you can get away with doing those things. It's kind of like you can do whatever you want, really. Yeah. But I know what you mean by thinking constantly. When do you watch your TV? Like what time of day?
Oh, it's not till late at night. Usually, like my typical day is I'll wake up in the morning. I'll do some work from home. I'll come in here. I do my work here. I'll leave here. I'll do more work at home. Right. And then depending on the workload, I could be working till 10:30 at night, or I could be working till 8 or 9 at night. If I'm finishing at like 10ish or whatever, like I'm going straight to bed because I sleep like shit. So I need to get as much sleep as I can. If I'm getting done around 8 or 9, I'll maybe try and sit down and watch a little TV. But usually by then I'm within 15 or 20 minutes, I'm out like a light.
That's good though.
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. However, here's what happens with me is if I fall asleep on the couch, right, I'll wake up like 2 or 3 hours later. And when I move to bed, I toss and turn the rest of the night.
Yeah, it's totally interrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I wish I could fall asleep. It takes me a little bit of work to fall asleep.
Does it?
Well, I'm the same way. Actually, what I had been doing, because I try to aim for like 9-10 hours of sleep a night if I could get it. You know, 8, fine. If I get any less than 8, I feel not good.
Man, I wish I could get it.
Yeah, it's well, also like bodybuilding's part of the job.
It is,
you know, like it's
it.
like kind of what you were saying. Like it's hard. You said it's hard to go on the gym floor. Like when I go to the gym, I'm like, this is part of work.
Yeah.
So I wake up, you know, have some coffee, breakfast, go right to work, get the morning wave done, go to the gym, part of work, come home, take a shower, and then I work until I go to sleep. But what I was doing was just like going straight into bed from, laptop. I'm talking laptop on lap in bed.
Yeah.
Shut the computer at like whatever time. It was whatever time it takes, and then turn over and go to sleep. Well, that was impacting my sleep.
Oh yeah.
I was not getting great sleep.
Yep.
And sleep is very important. So once I started to see that shift a little bit, I was like, rule time, because I have this thing where like I put rules on myself. Like
that's good.
Yeah, I got to. Other words, like I have the tendency to just drive myself into the ground. So it was like rule time. So here's the rule. Computer goes off at this time. Then no phone.
No phone.
Absolutely no phone. And when I say no phone, I mean you don't even look at the clock. That thing, stay on the charger, you might as well throw that thing out of the room.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to look at it.
Right.
And then I do what I used to do. And I turn over and I put on a horror movie or something like that. And I just lay there and watch a whole movie. And I used to do that all the time when I was younger. I would just watch movies. I loved it. And I would just fall asleep just like a baby.
Yeah.
And I started doing that. Man, I don't even make it. I'm sitting there trying to hold my head up. I'm like, I am conking out, and it's become really enjoyable. So I'm like, that phone's got to go, and the screens, and it's so much. That's stimulation all day.
Oh yeah.
Plus, I'm drinking caffeine all day.
Right.
You know what I
right.
meit's like I start with coffee, then pre-workout,
Right.
and so like I even like tapered some of that back.
Yep.
Again, like it's like I got to put up. I gotta put some rules on
I
myself.
know.
Otherwise, I just have the tendency to go.
When you started doing that, did you notice an improvement in your physique?
No, because my sleep wasn't that bad. Where it was like I didn't let it get to the point. But if I did, I absolutely would. And performance and things like that. As soon as I noticed a pattern, I was like, we gotta cut that out. So I didn't let it get like so bad to the point where I started noticing that it would impact things. But I've seen it impact people. Yeah, like I prescribed that before. Like
Really?
I'm like, oh yeah, because like so many people have sleep issues. Like sleep hygiene is huge.
Yeah.
And so like that's typically where I'll start is I'll start with like, what do the last 2 hours of your day look like? When is your, okay, cool, you're working out. Like, when is your last dose of caffeine? How much caffeine are you having? A lot of people are having more than they even realize. So you start kind of working with that. And then you're like, okay, like we need to stop the stimulation at a certain point and give your mind, because even if you do go to sleep, it's not good quality.
It's not.
You ever
deep
feel that?
sleep.
Like you're feeling all cracked, that your nervous system's on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a normal human experience to have all of the stimulation that we have.
No.
And also like, I mean, like how many messages you get a day?
Oh God.
It's like, it's totally abnormal.
It is. It is. It is. Yeah. And if I've got shit going on in the business, that makes the sleep even worse. Because now you're up, you're staring at the ceiling, you're like, all right, how the fuck am I going to get out of this?
Yeah.
That kind of shit. And so now you're like, when you do get into work, you're like a zombie, And I do 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and these here, I have 1, maybe 2 a week, if that.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. And the only time I'm having these is usually if I have an in-person podcast,
Save it.
and save it. That's usually the only time that I'm.
So you're really at 1 cup of coffee a day.
I am. Yeah. Yeah.
That's low.
Yeah.
That is like.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. But like when my head hits the pillow, I do fall asleep fast. I am out like a light for a good 3, maybe 4 hours. After that, it's this all night.
Really? Okay.
Forth,
So you don't. So you're.
It's not a full.
Okay.
And I've been like that for as long as I can remember.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like if I would just get up after that 4 hours, there's something to be said about actually just in stillness. Because if I would just get up after that 4 hours, I would be even worse throughout that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Kind of going back to the like how individualized everything is. I have found that some people, even with sleep, like some people, we'll just take myself for example. Like I said, like if I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I don't feel 100%. That is my minimum. I can do it, but things suffer.
Sure.
There are people that can get 4 or 5 hours sleep, and they are tip top 100%. Some people just don't need as much sleep.
Yep.
So that is a whole nother like moving part to to the whole thing.
Wait till we're able to start doing CRISPR on people, right? And people can start choosing the genetic components.
CRISPR?
You never heard of CRISPR?
No, what is it?
It's gene editing.
You're
in a bubble?
I'm in a bubble. I am a hermit. I am in a bubble.
All right. So one thing. Okay. So CRISPR's been around for a while. There's actually a really cool documentary on Netflix that goes over CRISPR.
Oh, I love documentaries.
I'll text you with the title of it. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But anyways, it's basically where they will take they've been able to figure out sections of the DNA on where certain things are attributable, like height, eye color, muscle mass, all of that stuff. So they can start editing people's genes to give them certain traits. A prime example is, have you ever seen that photo of the bull that's like jacked beyond belief?
Yeah, it has like a myostatin.
Exactly. Yeah. That's CRISPR. So what they did is they used CRISPR to edit the gene to block the enzyme for myostatin to allow that bull to just continually grow muscle mass. It's now to the point where Japanese scientists have been able to use CRISPR that they could reverse Down syndrome in people. They could actually take the person's gene, use CRISPR to get rid of the 23rd chromosome or whatever.
Wow.
They could do
Are they trialing this on humans?
I don't know. They just said if they've been able to do it. I do know that the Chinese have been able to do designer babies, like eye color, all of that stuff. Yeah. So, it used to be like the big thing was steroids, right? Like steroids were, people would say, oh, they're juiced up, and that's why they're able to do what they are able to do. And now the new thing in the next 50 years is going to be gene editing.
Wait till bodybuilder parents.
Yes,
exactly. It could be like, I didn't have this when I was young, but let me pass this down and have like
my
the
calves
ultimate.
Suck, so I'm going to do gene editing to get better calves.
That would be me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're going to see some wild stuff. I mean, I think AI is probably going to be the craziest thing. I mean, it's already gotten crazy. It seems like it came out of nowhere too.
It did. It did. And it's just the beginning.
I know.
Right?
It's in its infancy.
It is.
Yeah.
And now the quantum computing is starting to make some headway as well. You mix quantum computing with AI, you're going to see some crazy ass shit happening.
And we're going to see it in our lifetime.
Sure. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. If the world doesn't end by then.
I know. Because, you just know, the more powerful the tool.
Yep.
The more powerful the side effect, right?
Yep.
I mean, there's always a cost for everything. So who's going to get it and use it for nefarious purposes?
Yeah.
That's kind of you know what I mean? Like, you see those robots running around Austin. It's cute. Like, put a gun in its hands.
Oh, it's fucking Terminator.
See how cute it is.
That's how Terminator started, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing?
I know. Skynet. Man. Yep, exactly. Do you use AI? I see this
daily.
Do you? That's awesome.
But I use it for productivity hacks. I use Excel a lot, right? And it's really easy to just use AI and be like, hey, I'm trying to do this.
Yeah.
What's the formula I should be using?
Yeah.
Do
you use Chat GPT?
I use Chat. I've used Grok. Okay. But I think 99% of it is Chat GPT.
Chat GPT, I feel like could be a great thing. I've used Chat GPT. I've used it for I think I was doing some sort of government thing.
Okay.
We're in the process of starting a business, and it's there's this you got to fill out forms and do all this. It's super complicated. Getting trademarks, that is so complicated. You need to hire trademark lawyers and stuff like that. You go, all right, guide me through this, and it'll guide you through it. And it's that is an unbelievable. But on the flip side, like I said, there's a cost. I've had to tell clients don't respond to me in ChatGPT. Because I can tell when it's a ChatGPT response. I'm this is a human experience.
Yeah.
I do not want ChatGPT involved in this.
Yeah.
If you use it for spelling or whatever. Actually, I don't even care. Give me your grammar mistakes. I don't even care about that.
Right.
Trust me, I communicate with people all day. I can decipher.
Yeah.
But I don't want AI having any part of this or influencing what you're saying to me, because this is 100% a human experience, and I need you to talk to me.
Yeah, it's inauthentic if they're doing it that way.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And it could disrupt things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also it's wrong a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's funny how wrong it is with even basic math.
Terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah. I was testing this out because someone had asked me, they're like, what about using ChatGPT for a meal plan? And I'm like, let me see what this thing's got. Oh God.
Terrible.
Terrible. All the numbers were completely off. I was like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this thing is totally useless.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's like math. You got to double check it. You can't trust it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. For something like that, where it's you need to be present. It needs to be, I need to hear the real thoughts.
Yeah. Mikey, man, I loved having you on. Thanks for coming on. Where can everyone find you, learn more about you, or if they want to work with you?
This was great, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Of course.
So, Instagram @MindMatterLifestyle. Facebook, Mikey Weiss. You could go to www.themindmatterlifestyle.com. You could also go to the Team Wilson website. I'm on there as well because I'm a Team Wilson coach as well. So we're a big team over there. That's where to find me. If you need anything, shoot me a message, shoot me an email.
Awesome.
Go from there.
We'll put it all in the show notes. Reach out to Mikey, man.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bo.